Every once in a while, I just get a super hyper fixation on knitting and I don't do anything else. And this has been these last 2 weeks. Welcome to the TheYarnChicken podcast. My name is Elisabeth. I'm a knitter from Sweden. I've been doing this for 20 years and now I'm sharing it on the internet. I have finished my Olga sweater. This is her. It's knit in Drops Belle in these lovely colours. It is a cream white or just a white, so probably 01, and the colour peppermint, so 32. Drops Belle is a mix of linen, viscose and cotton, and it has some weight to it, it has some drape to it, and it is, that was my air purifier, and it has this summery feeling. It is quite heavy, so I wouldn't say that it's like a light breezy fibre, but since it is not a plant fibre, the gaps between the stitches they don't really close, so it does let some air through. But I am very happy with it. I always wear it rolled up, and I had forgotten, since it's so long since I made anything out of cotton, a long-sleeved cotton thing, that the sleeves, when I roll them up, they don't really stay rolled up, so, and they don't stay pushed up, because this 1x1 rib, it doesn't cinch in anything. It's just, you know, that it's an end to a sleeve, so it doesn't really have anything to hold up itself with. So I'm always struggling with these, but you know, it's a nice little stim to be able to roll it up every once in a while, so that doesn't bother me at all. I learned a few new techniques with this pattern, and that is what I love about knitting different designers, because they have different ways of construction, and what I am going to take with me from this is how the folded over edge was made. So this is a 1x1 rib, which is then, it's knit to a desired length, then flipped, and the flipping motion, or the technique that's used for the flipping to keep it flipped, it's really neat. So that is something that I'll store in my mental bank of knitting tricks. I knit this in a size medium, which is the recommended size for my bust circumference. My bust circumference is 96 centimeters, even though I am a part of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, but I have a large frame. So no boobs, large frame, size medium. And it is oversized, which it's supposed to be. It's not as oversized, I think, as the pattern recommends, but I liked this, the effect of the fabric on the 4mm needles that are recommended, and I think I have a slightly tighter gauge than PetiteKnit. And honestly, since finishing this basically 2 weeks ago, I think I've worn it 10 times or something out of the 14 days I've had it finished, because it's just a great piece. It is exactly what I wanted it to be. It is work appropriate, it's summery, it's layerable, it is high enough in the neck to sort of hide full collared, full heighted, full collared t-shirt. So when I wear a t-shirt underneath a crew neck like this is called a crew neck? English is not my first language. But a neck like this, it really bothers me when this neckline is so much lower than the t-shirt that the t-shirt peeks out. So if the ribbing of the neckline of the t-shirt sticks out, that's fine. But if you can see the rib and then some of the fabric, it just looks sloppy, I think. And that was something that had been bothering me for a while. And now I have a shirt that's compatible with my t-shirt, which is great. It was a very quick knit. A lot of it is done in the round. The jogless stripes are very satisfying. Let me see if I can show you my jogless stripes on the sleeves. You can see a little bit of the ladder or the steps between the stripes, but not at all too bad. And I never thought that I would be this happy with a striped garment, because stripes have been in for a few summers now. I mean, stripes always come back for summer, don't they? But I've sort of shied away from them because I don't like a too busy... What am I trying to say? I do like a geometric pattern. I like when something happens, but I don't like when it's... I think it might be when it's too scattery. So I can't really rest my eyes and my brain doesn't really comprehend the pattern from the get-go, but it's something that creates a lot of visual noise. And this I feel just doesn't, because it's all the stripes are equal in size, the colours, they work great together, the contrast is good but not too strong but not too weak, and I just really like it. So a striped sweater, call me a converter, because I am convinced. Now for my next finished object, this is something that I have sort of been forcing myself to finish because I want to be finished with it. I don't want it on my mind anymore. Are these sailor slippers. Hang on, this way around. These sailor slippers are for my oldest nibbling. They are still too big. I have felted them and washed them, and the blue has bled, which, I mean, is not surprising, but these pastel colours used to be a little less dingy. So they're still a bit wet. I will see what happens when they're fully dried. I will also pop them in the washer again. So I'm going to soak these in hot water and then put them in the dryer with a towel again, because I finished a pair for my middlest nibbling. Let me get them. And when I last showed them, they were a little bit too big, and I think they are the right size now. So these took 2 rounds in the wash as well, in the dryer. And yesterday when I was felting these, I thought I will pop these in to get them to shrink even more. And now they have, and I think they are a good size. And this, I guess, is the intended texture of this fabric once it has been properly felted, because the ones that I made are a bit lighter in the felt level, and I don't think that they are what they're supposed to be, technically. But these are still far too big. These are a lot floppier. They don't have this hard level of felt just yet. So I would have wanted these finished because my nibblings are coming to visit me this afternoon, but they're not done. They are too big. These are going to take a few years for my nibbling to grow into. I mean, probably just one, because man, kids grow fast, but they're going to have to wait a little while. And that's fine, because this is just such a hot season of everything, so no one is going to mind not having woolen slippers for the next few weeks. So these are also sailor slippers, just like these, just like the video that I posted a few weeks ago, and they're knit in Drops Snow, felted. These are not knit to gauge. I mean, neither were the other ones, but these are even less on gauge. These are knit with 5mm needles, because I didn't want to buy the kids pattern. So I just sized down and have felted these to high heavens. I used the smallest size for my nibbling with size 30, so 36 in the pattern to a size 30, and these are supposed to be a size 33. They are not. If I compare to my own foot, they are probably a size 37, 38 now, so they need to go in the wash again, or the dryer. But it was really good to knit up these with all of the scraps. Or not all of them, I have so many scraps. But it was nice to, I mean, all of these pinks and I mean, the yellow I would have gotten use of myself, and the blue probably, but the pink's not a chance. I'm not a pink person, and that's because I am pink. So if I wear pink, I feel like I'm sort of enhancing something that I don't want to enhance, and there's probably a lot of internalized misogyny in that as well, that I apparently don't like pink because it's woman coded or gal coded. Also not a great purple lover, which is interesting because I'm all for the greens and my partner is all for the pinks and purples, and he looks great in them and good for him, but I don't want it in a home. So everything in here is green. The walls. That's not me, by the way. The apartment came with this green in the living room, which is great. The kitchen is pink, which is good because my partner likes to be in the kitchen and I don't. So great for me. I love being in the living room, knitting and watching telly. And hanging out with a cat. Where is she? She's asleep under the sofa. I'm going to insert a clip of her progress. We have made a lot of progress now that the heat wave has broken. When it was too hot, she hated everything and hated everyone, and honestly, girl, same. But now that it's broken, it's cooler, it's a civilized temperature. These houses are really old. They are meant to keep heat in because the insulation, or because the heating system when the houses were built were very centralized, so you can rely on like radiators. So the apartment is great at keeping warmth in and letting heat in, but not letting it out. So the walls sort of still radiate from the heat wave that we've had. But it's cooling down and she has been doing great progress. And now she's still always underneath the sofa or the bed, but she comes out quicker when I give her snacks. I give her creamy snacks and I squeeze it out on my hand and I give it to her, and she is quicker to come out to get it. And also I can put it on different places on my hand and she will not freak out, and she's really brave about it. We are making progress and that's great. I foresee that before Christmas, she is going to be on a piece of furniture with one, hopefully two of us at the same time. So she will jump on the sofa or on the bed when one or both of us are there as well. That would be great. So that is a work in progress as well. My most important work in progress, I suppose. My other works in progress really show the frenzy that I've been in for the last 2 weeks. So I showed you last episode, my ABC, my amazing baseball cap that I've been working on, and I continued working on it, and then I just stopped. I have finished all of it except for the brim portion. I am not happy with the reinforcement, not the knitting, but the reinforcement of it. And I've just I girl bossed too close to the sun. I overdid it, and now I've been taking a break. So this is completely finished. No, it's not. I'm lying to you. I am finishing one strap. It's going to have a second strap, and I'm going to have to redo the brim because right now, as you can see, when I bend it, there is excess fabric because the brim is not wide enough. So the insert is too small for the brim. So I'm going to have to unpick the seam that I did and finish this. But I don't really want to. So I'm going to give myself grace with that and leave it for a while. I go on vacation in 2 weeks again, and I think this is going to be a vacation project because it needs a bit more patience than I have at the moment. This is knit on 3mm needles. It's knit in 100% cotton. yarn that I used for the first few iterations is from Systrene Grene, and it is 50 grams, 160 meters, which perfectly corresponds to Drops Saffron, which is also 100% cotton, 160 meters per 50 grams. And I have bought a ball of that to check it out, to make sure that I'm actually telling you the truth in the pattern, that works out. But the plan for this is to, you know, make it into a pattern, write it up. It's nearly finished. I have written everything, but I want to include a schematic for the brim insert, so you can just trace it and insert it. But then again, if your gauge is slightly off, if you knit slightly tighter or have a slightly thicker yarn, then the insert isn't going to make sense anyway. So I wonder if I should include like a standard pattern for the brim insert, and then just say block it, trace it, and make that your brim. This is what my brim insert ended up like. If you want to use it, but get your own. I think I'm going to do that. The brim is like the focal point of the hat, right? So if that doesn't look good, then the pattern isn't going to look good. The project, the finished object isn't going to look good, and people aren't going to want to make it because the instructions said to use this insert and that looked floppy. So I think I'm going to do that. So, okay, I'm going to have to make myself focus on a hyperfixation that I've gone past, and that's going to be fine. I have time this weekend. I should just do it. But you know, telling myself to do something that I don't really want to do because I've done it so intensely, it's, you know, you probably know how it is. You're all knitters and crafters. Okay, my next obsession is also a self-drafted project, which is also a work in progress, nearly finished. This is an intarsia top. I've never knit with intarsia before. This is great. I love it. It's so much fun. It's a simple sleeveless top. It has shaping for the neckline in the front and in the back. It has a lemon on the front. It has a squiggly and two colours on the back. It's going to have a small lemon on the back as well. And then I'm going to finish it with a neckband. I'm going to finish the armholes. And then I'm going to publish it as a pattern. I'm starting to grade it already. I have my stitch fiddle chart for it, and I'm ready to make it a pattern. I posted about it on Instagram, and I hope that people like it, and I hope that you will like it, because whenever I'm ready to launch, I will make a video about it. So keep an eye out on that. The idea for this was born when I was knitting this, because this is Drops Belle, this is Drops Belle, these are the leftovers from this. I bought this yellow and dark green because I wanted to duplicate stitch a lemon on this. And I was umming and ahhing about how big I wanted the lemon to be. Do I want it to be just like a little accent lemon, or do I want it to be a whole ass lemon on the front, like the size of this? And then I realized that why not both? I want this to be more staple-y, and I want something that is quite statement-y. So why not make a sleeveless top that I can wear year-round, but that is also appropriate for summer? I really like the gauge I'm getting on the Drops Belle with 4mm needles. And these colours, I think, work really great together. They are muted, but not understated. So you can still see that it is fully a lemon, and it's colour blocky and it's fun, and I'm just really chuffed with it. So I'm now working on this. This is working up so quick, and my hands are screaming at me to stop, because what I've found is that knitting in the round is a lot calmer for my hands, or especially for my underarms. But going from knitting to purling, and also if I were to purl for a long time, that's also fine. But going from knits to purls, that is what sort of bothers my tendons. And this is knit flat, some of this is knit flat, some of this is knit flat, and I guess I'm just a glutton for punishments. But that is my problem to deal with, and I don't want to deal with it until I have finished this. Luckily, as I said, my nibblings are coming to visit, so I won't have a lot of time to knit the next few days, which is good, so I can, you know, relax and rest, let my arms rest. And then I'm going to finish this. I'm really excited about it. I hope we get some more good weather. I mean, we will in August, probably. It's going to be good. I'm hoping to wear this to Pride. So Stockholm Pride is it's next week. So next Saturday is the parade, and I'm hoping to have this finished by then because it's summery, it's cheeky, it's going to look great. It is weather appropriate for a lot of weathers, so it's because it does breathe, it lets warmth out, but also if it were to rain, the rain is going to sit on top of the fabric and not as quickly soak me through as, for example, if I were to wear a cotton t-shirt that isn't hand knitted. So that is the plan, to have this finished by next week. And then I have a pattern that I have been waiting for the drop. This is the fruit gingham, or gingham fruit sweater. Gingham fruit, I think, by TheYarnChicken, also known from the loom sweater. And it is just a stunning piece of knit art. I have started it. I've knit some of the back yoke. You cast on, shape it with German short rows until you hit the full length. Width. This is also an oversized pattern. And then you knit the body and full gingham, and then the sleeves are going to be lemon patterned. How gorgeous is that? When I saw the test call for this, I applied. I didn't get it. When I saw LemonKnit show her finished piece in her knitting podcast, loved it. When I saw that the pattern was releasing, loved it. I don't know that I bought a pattern this quickly before. So I bought the pattern, checked out what yarn do I need, what yardage, bought that. I think the recommended yarn, don't remember what the recommended yarn is, but I got the cotton merino from Drops. I've knit with this before. I know that I like it. One of my favorite ever shirts is knit with this. So when I knew that I was going to knit something this intricate or this involved, I knew that I wanted it, I needed it to be long wearing. So this pattern has, or this yarn has really stood the test of time with me, because the shirt that I'm talking about is my my rainbow gradient circular yoke with balloon sleeves. And that I think I knit 2 or 3 years ago, and I wear it weekly, multiple times a week. It's just great. And this, it pills ever so slightly. It has now started to pill underneath the arms, but that is to be expected. This is a cotton merino blend after all, so it's not going to be impervious to friction. But the gingham is just, it's just delicious. And the floats, I mean, come on. This is impressive, right? So yeah, I'm very pleased with this. The pattern repeat is very easy to remember for the gingham. It is just a 10 or 12 stitch repeat, and then you flip it, so you get the checkered effect. And that's fine. So when I was past the gingham, when I was past the gingham short rows, the German short rows, it was just straight sailing. But I must have messed up at some point, because my stitches, they are the correct number, they're the correct, everything is right, but I did a turn too few. So I was knitting like this, and then when it came to switch the way the gingham checks, I was on the wrong side, and trying to figure out what to do on the wrong side in a gingham pattern, that was more than I could wrap my mind around. So I ended up, I did try a few times. I think I probably knit down to this point, and then I just said, I don't need this sort of mental gymnastics in my life, broke the yarn and restarted it from the right side instead. So now I have the pattern starting, the new pattern repeat starting on the right side, which makes so much more sense for me, and that's probably what's happening in the pattern as well. I think I just made a mistake at some point. I don't think that my repeat is off, but I think I did one short row too many or too few, and faffed a little bit with it, and ended up, förskjuta, is it in Swedish? Offset? Is that what I'm looking for? I offset the pattern by one row and ended up having to switch on a wrong side, and that didn't make sense, because looking at all these floats, trying to count, do I now start with a yellow or a white one stitch before it was just too much. So this is now a lot more smooth. I brought this to knit with some friends. We were hanging out at a bar, and we sat there and hung out, knit and chatted. And this is a fairly social knit now. The purl rows take a lot longer than the knit rows, because I can't see what I'm doing, so I have to remember what I'm doing. But here I can just read my knitting and fly through a row. So that's perfectly fine. Oh yeah, I'm knitting it on, I think these are 3.5mm needles. Yeah, 3.5 in the Drops Cotton Merino, as I said. This is how they come. They look cute, right? Wrong. If you just look at them, they lose their shape. It's infuriating. Life is hard. Okay, so that was my last work in progress. Now I need to not... Where is all of my yarn? Now we are at the final section, which is purchases. I bought a bunch of yarn. So you've already seen the yarn for this, Drops Cotton Merino. I have the colours 01 and 15. Then I also have, for the sleeves, I have this dark green, which nearly looks black on camera, but this is colour 22. So these three together are going to make the gingham and then the lemons. Then I bought the Drops Saffron, just to make sure that I know what I'm talking about when I write my baseball cap pattern. So this is going to be made into a new baseball cap, probably with a little lemon on the front, because, lemons. Then I decided that I wanted to knit a dress, and I don't want to knit any old dress. I want to knit an overdress, and I want it to be flowy and swooshy and big and ridiculous and with puff sleeves. So I bought the Kid Silk, which is Super Kid Mohair and Silk in the colour 2, black. And I looked on Ravelry for a pattern for something similar and I couldn't find it. So you know what that means. The audacity strikes again. I'm going to make my own pattern and I want to make a dress. That's also on my bingo card for 2026. So that checks out. But I'm going to make a dress after I finish this top, probably while I finish this, because the gingham, it's repetitive, which is nice, but it's also, I think it can very easily become boring. So I don't want to bore myself and I don't want to burn myself out on this pattern. So I'm going to microdose it. It's not going to be finished by summer for the summer season, and that's fine. If I can have lemons in the autumn, I'll be very happy. And this dress I foresee being more of a winter season garment. So, oh, fibers all around me. So that isn't any, I'm not in a rush with this either. So there we have one great finished object, one refelted great finished object, one finished object that needs to be felted, refelted. I have one great work in progress, one that I'm sort of burnt out on, but that needs so little time that I can power through because I want this to be finished. I want to release a pattern. I want that experience in my bank of knowledge. And then I have one more work in progress, which is honestly just a joy at this point. A bunch of new purchases for yarn, so I'm all set for my coming projects. Now I need to chill out with the yarn purchases. I have a bunch of fun plans with yarn that I already bought, and I want to make them come true before I buy more yarn, because every time I buy yarn with a project in mind, all of the other projects get pushed down the priority list. And some of the things that are deep down on the priority list aren't a priority anymore, and that's fine because I've changed my preferences, my interests, my style has changed, and that's fine. I'm not a fast fashion brand, and if I end up being indecisive about what I knit and buy a little bit too much yarn, that's still 1,000 times better than me buying something from Zara or even worse Temu because I wanted it. So buying yarn to knit something and then not knitting it is better in my book than buying a piece of clothing from a fast fashion brand and then not using it, or decluttering, donating, tossing. So I want to stop it, to stop myself, to rein myself in a bit and knit what I have. So that's going to be a project for me to work on. I have already actually stopped myself from, over buying. I was toying with the idea of knitting a dress for Pride because the Pride after party is going to be, there's going to be like UV lights. How cool would it be to have like a white dress with neon splotches on it that is UV reactive? But then I was like, I don't need more yarn, and when am I going to wear this except for Pride? It feels a bit wasteful, and also my hands don't want me to knit something that fast. Not when I have so many fun projects. So I'm going to wear this for Pride, and if that doesn't work because it's too warm, then I'll wear something else. And if it doesn't work because it's too cold, then I'll put this on top, and that's going to be fine. So that is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I had a lot of fun filming it. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye.